Today, ornithologists Ryan Norris and Amy Newman are trying to capture a Savannah sparrow. They are continuing a long study of Kent Island sparrows started 24 years ago by Bowdoin ornithologist Nat Wheelwright. Because many of the sparrows and their offspring return to the same breeding site year after year here, Nat was able to create a vast family tree of the birds.
It's very rare actually to have a history that spans that long where you know the genetic lineage of so many individuals. And so now that we have this huge database covering those 20 years, it makes a really powerful system for us to come in and look at the effects of these different types of physiological measures and also ecological measures on population change and migratory behavior and that kind of thing.
In particular, they're studying the effects of early life stress on the reproductive success and survival of adults, especially the stress of having a lot of siblings.
This bird that we're trapping here today, we know that it was born in a nest last year in this grid right here. So we know how many siblings it had, and what we're interested in is what now its subsequent stress levels are.
So if you have more nestlings in a nest, then theory is that you would gain less food when you're growing up, and then that increases your stress levels. So we find that individuals in a nest with 3 nestlings do much better than individuals that came from a nest with 5 nestlings. And they're much more likely to return the next year. They're in better condition when they leave in the autumn to migrate.
They're hoping that this sparrow today that they've got their sights on will, in her travels around her nest to find food, fly into one of their harmless mist nets. But the female has decided she wants nothing to do with their long-term study. Ornithological breakthroughs require enormous patience.
Oh, come on, lady.
Aim.
Amy will attempt to corral the bird into the net, which is meant to be invisible to it.
Keep going, keep going.
Nonetheless, it flies right over.
And we sit and we wait, ever so patiently.
Amy tries the corralling trick once again.
Keep going. She's a wily one. Maybe we need all 4 sides.
They begin to put up net after net to no avail. Again, the bird appears close to the nest. Finally, she flies into the net. They must remove it carefully from the net and rush it back to their station to draw a blood sample and take measurements.
For this particular assay, I'm measuring corticosterone, which is their primary stress hormone. And I don't need very much. So I take a baseline blood sample, and then that gives me a measure of their overall sort of stress levels, and then I restrain them for a period of 30 minutes and take another blood sample. And so the greater difference in stress hormones from baseline to that 30-minute response period tells me how reactive they are to stress. And so individuals that have been stressed as youngins in the nest, as nestlings, typically are hyper-responsive to stress as adults. And that's the same as in humans, actually.
Amy weighs the bird and lets her fly back to her fledglings.
And then out she goes.